so welcome to my channel again. This weekend there is really nothing for sale. They got some discounts on crew training and stuff like that, but it's nothing spectacular. So I'm just going to kind of do what I want. Last week everything was for sale. This week nothing is for sale. We're going to take a look at a tank that I've been working on. And as you can see, I'm about a third of the way through grinding this thing. This was a hard transition to go to this tank from the T28 AT, which is the tank that precedes it. Whereas the T28 AT was mobile, still didn't have a turret, but I learned how to survive without a turret, so it was okay. It was mobile and it had a decent gun for its tier, and it just was a well put together tank. This thing, it's been a struggle for sure. Now, it does get a wicked gun, and it has decent armor for its tier, but it does get into tier 10 battles. So tier 9 and 10 tanks really don't have much issue dispatching this. And because of its speed, it is easily dispatchable. This tank, maximum speed is 18 kilometers per hour. It's very slow traverse. I am training the driver on clutch braking, and that does help, but it's just so slow. I feel like there's been some power creep with this tank. So when it first came out, it probably was really wicked, but now there's so many fast mobile tanks that have a decent amount of pen that it just doesn't really seem to stand up anymore. It's very difficult to operate this tank. That said, when it does have a good battle, it has a really good battle. So I've, set records in this tank, I believe, for myself, where I've hit, over 4,000 damage and gotten 7 or 8 kills. And you've seen in my Luckies videos, occasionally, actually I post quite a bit of videos from this tank because it is amazing at times. But then there's those other battles, the other 90% of the battles where you just get completely run over. And man, I really struggle with this tank. I want to love it, but I don't. I don't like it, actually. I'm kind of wondering if the T28 prototype will be any better because it has a turret. And I think that turret will probably help immensely. I'm grinding my way to that, too. And if I have time, I'll also do a review tonight of the T25, too. Like I said, this tank, sometimes it has just amazing battles, and then most of the rest of the time it just gets totally overrun and killed. And I think that's part of a power creep issue because, like I said, there's so many more tank destroyers out there that have better camo values that can penetrate right through it. The RHM, for example, on the same level, any of the Waffentragers. And then there's a lot of fast medium tanks that just, scouts. Anything that gets around you is going to be, trouble. So this is a hard tank to play. I definitely have struggled with it. I do like it. Let's take a look at some of the stats. It's got a lot of health at 1150. A lot of hit points. It's got decent frontal armor with 254 somewhere on the front, but more often than not, you do get penetrated, and that is because you have this nice flat area right here that's easy to hit. Also, obviously, the lower plate is fairly easy to hit. The sides have 50. The back has 50. So once you get surrounded, pretty much anybody can penetrate you. Also, of note, this is a weak spot. That's a weak spot. So you're going to be dealing with that on a frequent basis. You're going to be getting pulverized through the top. That being said, though, I still like it. I do like this tank, and that's why I'm wondering if the T28 prototype is going to be better. Obviously, I want to get to the T95. It's a tank that I've always wanted since I started playing the game. It is a slow tank and has to be played that way, but I'm just hoping it's better than this. I know it probably isn't much better, but it's got to be a little bit better. At least you're a tier up and have a better gun and stuff. So I would imagine that helps make it a more fun experience. One of the hints and or tricks that I've learned with this tank is that if you're being attacked, you fire, and when you back up, wiggle as you back up. Don't let them have a solid front to shoot at. If you just sit there, they're going to be able to penetrate you, but if you keep moving as you back, You will deflect a lot of shots. I found that sometimes having some angling really does help keep from, getting penetrated. And if they aim at this top portion, it's going to bounce. I've also been told, and I try this sometimes, if you wiggle the gun around, that helps, protect this area, because this is strong, but this area is not so strong. So it just lessens the chances if you kind of rotate the gun and wiggle at the same time in that kind of motion to help keep you from getting hit. And I found that does kind of ring true. Most of the time when I behave like that, I do not get penetrated. So for what it's worth, hopefully that helps. But this is just a tough tank to play, man. So let's continue on. Where it shines, of course, is the gun. Average damage 400. It goes anywhere from 300 to 500. And the penetration's pretty high with a standard penetration of 248. That's a very nice number, though you will bounce a lot of shots still. It's nice to be able to actually have a tank that you can hit some of the front of the Type 59 and actually do damage. You don't always have to hit his sides. You can hit him in the front sometimes. The rate of fire on this gun is actually pretty good. I've been impressed with how quickly the gun fires. 6.59. It doesn't sound like a lot, but when you're doing that much damage, it's actually a pretty quick reload. I believe it's just under 9 seconds. Decent dispersion, so it means it's fairly accurate at distance. And it's got a 2.1 second aiming time. So I don't want to say very fast, but that's pretty fast aim time. And when you get a good crew, that's really going to help. Now, I'm not sure what the camo rating on this is, but it's my understanding that it actually has a pretty decent camo rating from the front. And so I run a camo net, and I am running camo paint, and then I'm training my crew on camouflage. Once they get to 100%, they will be switched over to switch the captain to Sixth Sense, and then I'll train him again on camo. So I'll lose a little bit of camo for a little bit, but I think it's really important to be able to know when you're spotted, especially in this tank, because you need to think about where you're going to go next, because it takes such a long time to get there. The grind was sort of difficult on this tank, and let's take a look at the research. When you first get it, I'm saying a lot tonight too. You have to unlock the tracks, obviously. Now, I think I used the upgraded suspension for a little while so that I could mount the 105 gun right away and not really mess around with having to use the 90 millimeter, because the 90 millimeter has very low pen, and at least the 105 is close to 200. It's still not enough, and man, it is a long grind to the 120, because you have to unlock the tracks and then the motor, and you can skip the radio and come back for that later. But it's a 50,000 or 51,000 XP research cost to unlock this gun. So it is a long grind to unlock this gun with this. Those are really frustrating times. And once I got this gun, things started getting better, but they're still not great, but at least it was better. And of course, you've also got a really long grind at 165,000 to get to the T95. So it's going to be a long time. Like I said, I'm about a third done with 60,000, 67,000 XP. So, yeah, view range is not so good at 370. It's not terrible, but it's not great. Signal range, 745. It's about average for its tier. Decent gun depression. One of the things I got to mention, this tank does have okay gun depression, and you can get it hull down a little bit. It's not great. It's very much like the T28 AT. You are going to have to expose some of the top to get that gun into firing position, but it has some gun depression. Look at the size of that gun. It's just ridiculous. But anyway, so let's go ahead and look at the stats for this, and then we'll go ahead and give it a run. I have, as you can see, I've very much been struggling in this tank. I have 138 battles. I have a 43% win rate. Sometimes I have to run literally 8 or 9 battles to get my 2x. It's very frustrating. I just can't win a lot of games with this. And I'm pulling 600 experience per battle. It's not great, but it's not horrible. I guess for tier 8 that's pretty bad, but I was hoping for more like 700 or 800, but I It's so hard. You'll see. So let's go ahead and run this tank, and you can see how it does on the battlefield. We'll run 2 battles. All right, here's a little brain twister for you. This is actually my 3rd battle, which is coming before my 2nd battle. So I may refer to some things in that battle that happened in this battle that you're actually not going to see because it actually happened in another battle. Are you confused yet? Oh boy. I have to take care of this little guy creeping across. They're going to push across, it looks like, and I'm not going to go with them. I'm just going to sit here and let that VK think he's safe. Oh, if only I could get a shot on that dude. Oh, yeah, there he is. There he is. There he is. There he is. Okay. He's going to go home crying. I think he's firing back, but... And the idiot didn't move. Hey. That was awesome. First blood. Come on, pull out, dude. Pull it out. Come on. I dare you. Sorry, once again, I got this cold going, so still coughing and hacking and wheezing. The looks. I think that VK's bailed on us. Should I? I don't know. Got the T28 with me, so that's good. They're up there fighting the hill all by themselves. That's bad. But we're going to push and get Cap, and that's good. And I killed one of their artillery, so that's good. I can feel... Oh boy, that sniper's on the... Sniper! See you do that again. Whoa. Crap. Just saw that. Keep the T-34 busy, please. Oh, nice miss. Dillweed. Yeah, come and get it. Come on. Yeah, you wanted that. Now you put yourself right where I can get out of the range of your friend. We didn't penetrate their armor. Bro. We lost half of our engine power. Smother those flames. Anyone want to help me with this Carnarvon, please? You gotta be kidding me. Now he's gonna kill me. A nice straight hit there and got killed. Oh well, at least we won. Jeez. Yeah, this is not a good toe-to-toe tank, and like I said, you see that? He had no problem piercing right through the front of my tank. And thankfully, my tanks that were sitting there on Cap didn't even bother to shoot at him. Freaking teams. Oh well, what are you gonna do? Oh yeah, a win. A rare win. I didn't do that great, but yeah, whatever. Yeah. All right, so on to the next battle, which I fought earlier. So, anyway, have fun. Watch the next battle. And I'm bottom tiered again. Now, I will say that that is not something that happens frequently. It does happen, but I don't feel like this tank's always bottom tier. But for whatever reason, tonight it is. So, we're going to push down the river road. They got a bunch of really big artilleries. So we're probably going to be getting hit the whole time. Nobody else is going down the river road except for this really fast Ferdinand. Pardon me. This cold it's been 2 weeks. At least it's getting better. It's out of my chest now, so it's just in my throat. For a couple days, I could hardly breathe. All of this, and we've been super busy. I guess we're just going to set up back here because I sure as heck am not going to push. And I just don't have the view range to see what's down there. The thing that's going to suck is if some scout comes down here. Well, I'm going to tuck in a little bit more, I guess. A lot of people must be playing tier 10 tonight. Hopefully, I'll be the first to spot, but I'll also be the first to get hit. Let them come. Hopefully, I don't know how far away this is, but I don't like the fact that this Foch is right behind me. Or whatever it is. Yep. Oh, it's a harm player. They're usually pretty good. It's gonna hit my tracks. So the problem, slow mover. Luva's a nice target for this tank, though. So Luva. See, pretty quick reload, though. Ready to fire again. Do 400 damage. Oh, T34. Shoot, is it gonna whiff? Oh, right over his hood. Man, whoever that is behind me is taking a severe beating. I like his little wiggles. Oh, thankfully the automatic fire extinguishers. Awesomeness. Make them work out. Good. The E75. We want him out. Just like that. Yep. Yep. And so much for that. Oh, well. All right. So, yeah. This is my experience with the T28, man. Regardless of... now I did get, bottom tier twice in a row. But even when I'm top tier, it's just the same thing happens. I mean, it's, you get those couple really just amazing games interspersed with a lot of just getting killed. On a lighter note, I was the second highest scoring tank destroyer on our team. 5,000 credit loss because of the fire extinguisher. It just, yeah. I don't know what else to tell you, folks. I'm maybe some people have better luck than I do with this thing, but I'm just cursed. I almost cringe when I have to play it because for right now I'm just playing the doubles because I lose so much with it that it's actually affecting my win rate. And it also is affecting my other stats because I can't do well in it. I feel like it's so limited on what it can do. And I've tried all kinds of different things and, whatever. It's the situation that gets presented is what gets presented. But you just have these, stupid, dumb teams that, and like you saw on this one, okay, so they left the entire right side to tank destroyers. Well, how are we supposed to hold against heavy tanks? You know, I mean, I guess you could if the terrain was right, but that alleyway is not right. It's not a good terrain for tank destroyers. So whatever. I mean, it's it's those kind of things happening over and over and over again that just, I've completely lost interest in this tank. I want to like it. Like, I actually, when it does well, I have a blast in it, but it just, you got to have good teammates is really what the truth of the matter is. You need to have one or two guys with you in a platoon that are going to, you know, get your back when you get surrounded and help you, you know, hold things and be out there with their armor because you have not enough on the tier. And you saw in that last battle, the E75, which is tier 9, and the T34, which is tier 8, just ripped right through me. They had no problems penetrating the front of my tank whatsoever, even though I was moving and trying to get out of the way. They boom, right through. So it doesn't have enough armor unless you're sniping, and it's your chances of getting in a good sniping position aren't good because, once again, the team just kind of does stupid things like, oh, we'll just leave you on this side all by yourself, or with a couple other TDs that also don't have any armor. So anyway, that's my rant. I do like this tank, like I said, but it seems like this is the kind of thing that happens to me all the time. I mean, literally, I'm going to do my 2X tonight. I can almost guarantee you I will go at least 6 battles before I get a win in this thing. I can't win in this tank. So anyway, I hope you have a good night. Please stay tuned to our channel and subscribe. And as I go up the trees here, you know, you'll definitely get to see some new tanks, and hopefully these are helpful to you. And you know, like I said, if you want to see some good battles in this tank, watch my Luckies videos. I even have another one that's in the works that's getting ready to be uploaded. So it's like 2 or 3 battles in this tank that are just awesome battles, but they only happen once every 20 or 30 battles. You get just an amazing battle, and then the rest of them are just like what you saw. They're just basically getting overrun, not being able to stop enemies approaching you, and being left out by the rest of your team to get hung out to dry. So it's just the experience that I've had with this tank. Have a great night. Subscribe. Bye.